watching the best. Fox 10 News at 9.
Some homeowners in northern Arizona upset with fire officials over their initial response to the tunnel fire. But tonight, some good news from the fire lines.
Down here in the valley, don't try this at home. A woman goes to the hospital after attempting to put out a fire herself before firefighters arrive.
And Phoenix fire crews pull a victim from a trench. How far down this hole he fell until firefighters found him.
We start tonight with a wildfire burning out of control. It's burned nearly 21,000 acres and is 3% contained tonight. Several homes have been destroyed in northern Arizona, and many residents up that way are not happy about it.
In fact, they voiced their concerns today at a community meeting in Flagstaff. However, some good news tonight. Within the last half hour, actually, some families may be able to return home tomorrow. Fox 10's Marissa Sarbak is live with the latest. Marissa.
Linda, Brian, this is a very big deal. The sheriff's office just announcing within the last half hour, as you said, that some of those residents, anyone living along Highway 89, will be allowed re-entry to their homes tomorrow. That evacuation order will be lifted. Now, this is some of the good news that they've been getting, some of them for the first time this week, of course, if they have a home to go back to.
And he started crying because he had lost everything.
For some residents in Coconino County, this is shaping up to be one of the most difficult weeks of their lives as they watch the tunnel fire take everything from them and their neighbors.
His uniform from Vietnam, all his medals, everything were gone. And he has stood there crying.
Arizonans have been fighting the urge to stay or go since the fire became uncontrollable on Tuesday.
Using my tractor, picking up dirt and dumping it on all the embers and as it was marching across and trying to put most of the fire out.
The U.S. Forest Service says the fire sparked on Sunday and they had it under control on Sunday and Monday. Tuesday, however, was a different story.
Then Tuesday, they went out there, were working the fire, and the winds came up and they could not control it.
A Coconino community meeting became heated today with residents pressuring the U.S. Forest Service and the local fire department for an answer. Why wasn't this stopped in its tracks?
There were citizens that called in on Sunday, on Monday, and on Tuesday. I'd like to ask Summit Fire and the local Forest Service how many calls they got on Sunday, how many calls they got on Monday, Tuesday morning, and why this was not stopped.
We don't deserve this. We need some better service here.
The U.S. Forest Service responding to that backlash at the meeting with this.
I know many or most of the firefighters who've been involved in this in the initial attack from when it started on Sunday and Monday, and I know that they tried their hardest to contain this both of those days.
The sheriff's office officially changing that evacuation or go order to a set, which means that those residents can move back in at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning if they so choose. Now, they will have to stay in that set mode, which means they'll have to keep an eye on fire conditions and weather conditions because that could change at any moment. Live for Fox 10, Marissa Sarbak.
Marissa, thank you. Now on to the Crooks fire. It is burning right now in the Prescott National Forest. It's grown to nearly 4.5 square miles. Tonight, it is 5% contained. Now, this one started on Monday about 10 miles south of Prescott. Nearly 360 firefighters are on the front lines battling this one. A community meeting on the Crooks fire happens tomorrow at 6 p.m. at Embry-Riddle University in Prescott.
Another wildfire continues to burn tonight in southern Arizona. Several homes have gone up in flames near Bisbee, destroyed by the Saginaw fire. And we are also learning tonight that a first responder and resident were both hurt. Phone and internet service is still cut off and evacuation orders remain in place. But Highway 80 is back open after being closed on Friday. Let's check in with Corey for a look at first weather across the state. Hey, Corey.
Well, things are looking much better tonight, and they will remain so overnight as far as the winds are concerned. Let's take a look at the big map here. The low that's been causing all of our trouble has finally moved itself off to the north and east, and wow, is it going to cause mayhem across the Midwest. We've got blizzard warnings out for the Dakotas and Nebraska. Our next big weather maker is well up into the Gulf of Alaska, so that will be held off for a couple more days. However, here's your wind situation for tonight. Again, everything kind of dying down and that's always good news. Here's a look at the future of these winds around Flagstaff and Prescott for tomorrow, or rather, this is our current situation. Winds at about 14 in Prescott, only about 3 up in Flagstaff, and overnight and into your breakfast hour tomorrow, winds should still be rather light. In fact, it probably will remain that way until we get to Tuesday. Now, when Tuesday comes, a double whammy, temperatures will be soaring and the winds will pick up again with the approach of that low that's now off the coast of Alaska. So a couple of days rest for these firefighters, or at least a couple of days without intense winds. We'll see what Tuesday will bring. The full forecast coming up in a few minutes. Brian.
Thank you, Corey. At least 4 people are out of their homes tonight after 2 mobile homes go up in flames. This fire broke out this afternoon near 32nd Street in Van Buren, and a woman cut her leg trying to put out the flames before fire crews arrived. She was taken to the hospital and is expected to be okay. The other victims are getting help from a crisis response team. Still no word how the fire started.
A shooting investigation is underway tonight after a woman was killed in Northwest Phoenix. 35-year-old Nissa Thomas was fatally shot at about 6 o'clock last night. This is near 26th Avenue and Thomas Road. She died from her injuries. A 31-year-old man was also shot. He is expected to survive. Anyone with information is asked to please call Silent Witness. You can remain anonymous. That number is 480-WITNESS.
An update tonight on Friday's shooting near a daycare center. We're learning 1 man died in the shooting and a suspect is in custody tonight. Police say 19-year-old Joseph Macias opened fire yesterday afternoon in a parking lot near 35th Avenue in Thunderbird. Officers found a 34-year-old man badly hurt and he ended up dying on the scene. Police haven't released a possible motive, but are asking the public to call Silent Witness with any information, and no one at that daycare center was hurt.
A child pulled from a pool this afternoon near Gilbert Road in the US 60. When firefighters got there, people were already giving that child CPR. Fire crews quickly took over, providing advanced treatment. And then we're happy to report the child became responsive and was breathing as they were rushed to the hospital. Crews say they believe the child will survive.
And a man is rescued today after falling into a 14-foot hole. It happened this morning near 103rd Avenue and Indian School. Fire officials think he was just walking when he fell in an open trench. Crews lowered rope and a ladder down to get him out of there. He was taken to the local hospital, but no word on how he's doing tonight.
Well, it was a beautiful day, a perfect day to honor a hero. Pat's Run returned to the Valley after 2 years off, and the 18th annual run in Tempe is being called the biggest ever.
20,000 people showed up to honor the former Arizona Cardinal turned Army Ranger killed by friendly fire in Afghanistan. Fox 10's Irene Snyder has the story of one fan who overcame long odds to make the run.
It's just really inspiring. This is one of my favorite days of the year.
Joe DeMulnara has been a part of Pat's Run for 11 years. And after 2 years of running virtually the annual event, back in person this year in Tempe.
Amazing, incredible. I was feeding off of the energy and of the crowd and just being around, so many like-minded people who were coming together to share the same goals and support the same cause.
The legendary Pat Tillman has been a lifelong inspiration for Joe. He grew up watching Tillman play at ASU, then with the Cardinals. Tillman was killed in action 18 years ago while stationed in Afghanistan with the U.S. Army.
Pat Tillman was just all about passion. Everything he did, he did it with passion. Whether it was on the football field or off the football field, he just did everything he did it with passion.
That passion and determination played a big part in Joe's life too. He was diagnosed with brain cancer 8 years ago. He lost his eye to the disease and after his last procedure could barely walk, let alone run. But he never gave up.
There was a point where after all of the surgeries where walking and getting out of bed was a chore. And to be able to come here and compete and to be with all these other people after 2 years of virtual runs, to see 30,000 people here.
While cancer may have taken a lot from him, Joe says there's parts of him that no disease can ever touch.
It can't take this. It can't take my mind. Can't take my soul. I just like to be able to step out of my comfort zone and push myself and see what I'm capable of.
Irene Snyder, Fox 10 News.
Good for him, and what a crowd, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Good. Well, food trucks are out in full force tonight on the streets of Peoria.
So this event is called Food Stock 2022. Hit it.
Thank you.
Yeah, they were partying out there. The food truck event returned tonight after a 2-year break for the pandemic. There were more than 55 food trucks from across the valley serving up delicious dishes. They had $3 samples, and that gave, wow. Sorry, I'm easily distracted by these caramel apples. They look like they're from the San Francisco chocolate factory. I think they make them there. So that gave everyone a chance to taste anything you want for $3. It looks great. The event started back in 2017, and proceeds go to a great cause. There's my apples again.
We work with the Peoria Diamond Club, which is a local nonprofit, and they actually use all the ticket proceeds to feed hungry children in the West Valley.
And here's the good news. They run until 10, so if you want to go get me a caramel apple, you still got time to get over there, Brian.
You looking at me? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
Gotcha. Things always taste just a little better out of a food truck, don't they?
I
don't
agree.
know why. Well, up next, an armed man robs the Valley Circle K, stealing cash and vape pens, but not before he and his car are caught on camera. See if you can help crack the case.
Plus, how do you move a 75-foot tall utility pole? Very carefully, ba-dum-bum. We show you why it's being done on the I-10.
And how ASU students are using their art skills to raise money for the people of Ukraine. Stay with us.